This is Patrick Vincent from Adamazi TV.
I'm Barrister Moses Maki Yakubu.
Okay, sir. On Nigeria's presidential election, three major contenders of the presidency of our beloved country, Nigeria, are Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar of the People Democratic Party, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the result was announced in favor of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which Labour Party candidate and the PDP candidate headed to the court for administration of justice. So what is your take on that?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, the rights given to every individual who feels aggrieved that he really wants to go to court is encapsulated in our Constitution, particularly under Chapter 4 of our Constitution, that it is a right upon which you ventilate your grievances, most especially in aspect of election petition matters. When it comes to election petition matters, you as a party who have gone for a contest and you feel that the processes has been manipulated, what you really need to do is to go to court. So as it is now, the two applicants or the two petitioners who went to court at the moment, it behoves on them to bring out their evidence. And those evidence, if it deemed fit by the court, now the court will now decide whom to give the judgment in favor to. So as it is now, there is so much hope in the democracy, in the judiciary. The judiciary at the moment, since they say it is the last hope of a common man, it is expected that every person who feels aggrieved will go to the court. So Peter Obi and His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, that is the former vice president, who are in contest within the court at the moment, any of them can win, can get a judgment, but it depends on the evidence which you can substantially adduce before the court. So nobody should discourage them from going to court. And also in the judicial aspect, which is the family which I belong to, which is my profession, we really want to see much litigation going to court to enable us to see where we can close the gaps. Most especially, which are the gaps? The gaps in the process where we are going to get a judicial precedent. That is, we call it locus classicus, where we can be able to get some of the judgment so that subsequent matters, if they arise as such, then we'll be able to bring out before the court, so that we'll be able to see the court, so that the court will be helped in terms of making judicial judgments.
Okay, sir. As you stated earlier, that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. And many citizens of this country are not saying they have hope in judiciary because there are issues arising now and there. What is your wish and prayers or recommendation to the Nigerian judicial system and criminal justice system of Nigeria?
The recommendation is not far-fetched, because we will not lose hope in judiciary still. Better still, the reason is simple. No matter what, even if no matter how sanitized Nigerian legal system is, as it is now, we might encounter with some of the loopholes. And those loopholes are based on technicalities. And those technicalities, a lot of people felt that their rights have been trampled upon. People use technical aspects of the law, not the law itself, to make the judgment. Most especially we, the lawyers, in terms of our advocacy, a lot of people, instead of us to base our own argument based on the law, we use technicality. And most often technicality, to some extent, it should be frivolous. It's something that the court should be jettisoned at, not to rely on. Even at the moment, the democracy that we copy, which is in the United States of America today, they have a lot of loopholes. Therefore, it is a process. So when I say it's a process, it's gradually we'll reach there. Thank you,
sir. Thank you, and thank you very much. This is Patrick Vincent from Adamazi TV.
It's a pleasure meeting you. My name is Steve.
Okay, sir. On Nigeria's general election, we have hitches and we have complexities of the collection, ranging from collection of results, announcement of the results. So what is your view on the just concluded general election of Nigeria?
Yeah, once again, I appreciate the call upon to express my opinion on the last concluded general election. As an individual, I will say that the last concluded general election was came with a lot of reactions, both positive and negative. In the light that a number of persons were happy with the outcome of the 2023 general election, and a number of persons were also not happy. That build up to why the court processes are still on. So I would say the last general election came to be an election that brought about larger awareness. The consciousness of the citizens was deployed into it, and much more. Thank you.
Okay, sir. And the major three candidates that contested for the general election was the Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the All Progressives Congress candidate, and also the People's Democratic Party candidate, in person of Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. And as well, we have Peter Obi of the Labour Party. They headed to the other two headed to the court to express their grievances to the court. What is your advice to the criminal justice system and judicial system of Nigeria on administering justice to all and sundry?
What I will say on the court process is that I will advise as a citizen that the judiciary is what the common man is looking up to, and we expect that the outcome of the court process should be that which will be considered as free, fair and justified announcement from the court, because that will help in building better confidence of the citizens to what the citizens are or to how the citizens are seeing the Nigerian judicial system.
Hello and good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is Patrick Vincent from Adamazi TV.
My name is Francis Collins Somorija, lecturer with the Department of Sociology, Taraba State University, Jalingo.
Okay, sir. From sociological perspective, election has come and gone, and some aspirants, major contenders of the just concluded election, were Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which the election was announced in favor of the candidates of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in person of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, which tempted other major contenders like Peter Obi and Atiku, which tempted them to head to the court. Then what is your view onto that?
Well, election is election, and in every election there must be a winner. And sometimes, even though it's difficult to accept defeat easily in election, but at times the process that led to the winner is also something to look at. The last election, general election, especially the presidential election, is surrounded by a lot of controversies, with serious blame going on the electoral empire, that is the INEC. Because prior to the election, INEC had made it clear, times without number, to the masses, to the citizens, that the election is going to be transparent, is going to be credible, and their own votes will count. they introduced the beavers, which we were all made to understand was to be strictly for accreditation, which eliminated a lot of fraud because you must have your own voters card to vote. So in essence, they instituted one man, one vote. To some extent, the beavers was a game changer in the election. So we give INEC a plus on that. But the real controversy, I think, has to do with the IRF, uploading of results in the INEC portal. Prior to the election, INEC also made it clear that every polling unit result will be transmitted directly from the polling unit to the server, so that every citizen, wherever they are, can have access to the results in real time. So that alone gave a lot of people the hope that yes, their own votes were going to count. I personally am one. So unfortunately, I think the reverse is the case. When the presidential election started trickling in, the senatorial election and the House of Representatives were uploaded successfully, but there were a lot of hitches in uploading the presidential election. In fact, the presidential election result was declared when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared as a winner without some of the polling unit results in the INEC portal, the IRF. In fact, as we speak now, even now, most of the results are either blocked, or some of them you see that they are mutilated with a lot of corrections on this, which when you look at it, you see something was actually wrong. Moreover, there are even some that are completely not there. So with that, it's really left a lot of doubt in the minds of many who felt that they will change in the process because they feel the candidate they voted for, or the popular candidate that was supposed to win the election, was not actually the one that was announced winner. So in essence, we can say INEC to some extent really play a part in the ongoing controversies, and I think that is why most of them has to head to court, since they feel judiciary is the last hope of the common man.
Okay, as you said earlier, that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. And what is your recommendation or advice to the criminal justice system and judicial system of Nigerian government, being the last hope of the masses, on the presidential petition tribunal? How do they come out to protect and promote democracy in Nigeria?
You see, basically, we have three arms of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. The judiciary is supposed to be an independent body which an aggrieved citizen can run to seek redress whenever they see a wrong has been done to them or any of their fundamental rights is infringed upon. That is why I think that was what motivated Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi to head to the tribunal. But one will also not forget the fact that over the years, many people has lost hope in our judiciary because they feel that the judiciary, in quote, is compromised or mostly is for people with highest bidder. Notwithstanding, one of my own recommendation will be to the judiciary that please, it is never too late to redeem the image of the judiciary. The judiciary can stand on its own this time around and give a transparent, clear judgment based on the evidences, based on the argument of the parties that brought these issues before them. And the judiciary need to rescue itself from this accusation that they are always taking side, most at times with the ruling government or people in power. Because if the judiciary is compromised, we are finished in this country. That means we may be heading back to the state of nature where every man will be for himself, and we will be living on analogy of the fish, big fishes feeding on smaller fishes, because there will be no anybody you go to seek redress. So Nigerians are having serious hope on the judiciary. That is why you see whenever this tribunal sitting is occurring, you see a lot of people going extra mile, getting their data to ask of updates, because I think this is one of the times that Nigerians, the youth, actively are participating in these processes, because they believe for the first time that the judiciary will do something. So another recommendation is let the judiciary try and uphold the rule of law, no matter who is involved. Let justice prevail at the end of the day.
Okay, sir. This is Patrick Vincent from Adamazi TV.
I am Akanta Ezekiel Chinda from Osa local government and resident in Jalingo.
Okay, sir. Election has come and gone, and we have issues in the Presidential Petition Tribunal, which I think the INEC announced the results in favor of the famous winner of the election, that's in person of Ahmed Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, which I think the aggrieved aspirants headed to court. So what is your take on the general election?
My take on general election, it depends on the INEC. My reason of saying that is because I don't actually know the system of election Nigeria is running on. I believe that the declaration of Tinubu as the president of our dear country today is right by the INEC. Why? They have the result. They know who won. They know how the election went. But if we are to follow the electoral act, the electoral act is unnecessary in the aspect of 25%, just as claimed by other aspirants in the court today. Because following the result, we saw Tinubu having 12 states, Atiku Abubakar of PDP having 12 states, seeing Peter Obi as a young contender having 12 states equally. And they said at the end of the day, we were told that Peter Obi won the FCT, which probably, if they are to follow 25% by the state number, Peter Obi should be the president today. But I discovered that that would not be necessary, because we have some states where PDP or APC won that may double 2 states of Labour Party, if based on the figure. But in terms of the 25%, Nigeria used to adopt a kind of system that they don't work on it. They do copyright, but they don't apply it effectively. If not, the process, the reason why, if we're copying America have 3 systems of election. 1 is Congress, 2 by main electoral processes. You queue, you voted, and the other one is by electoral college. So which one is Nigeria doing now? Which one are we operating on? That 25% issue will become a topic today, or a claim for another person claiming to be the winner because you have 25% or not. It's not effective. So I think the INEC should still go back and work on the Electoral Act and admit that 25% issue, so that Nigeria election should be based on the highest number. Straight. If you have your number, you win. I think that would do us good. If
Okay, looking at the way things are going, Nigerians citizens have seen judiciary as the last hope of the masses. So what is your take on judiciary, on administering justice to those that headed to the courts, like the person of Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi? What is your take on judiciary?
I've never seen that definition on judiciary. Nigeria, the judiciary is faulty. We have experienced a lot of things. Sorry, let me give you a reference of what happened in 2015 after the general election. The gubernatorial aspirant of new APC of Taraba State, Maman Taraba, she won the election, but they rigged it. We went to court. After tribunal, she have it in tribunal. PDP buy their way out in appeal court and till Supreme Court, where we feel they have the up to today. We have never seen the written judgment of Maman Taraba. In fact, she won the governor, but they rigged it from the poll, in fact, from the collection center to the Supreme Court. So I don't see judiciary as a hope to a common man. Judiciary is still hope to the highest level people. When you have your money, when you are in government, you are undefeated. So I'm not saying that on judiciary.
And what is your recommendation on them?
Judiciary is totally zero. I cannot recommend judiciary. Left to me alone, I don't have time to take anybody in court.
Thank
I
you.
will only learn to forgive anybody because I'm not seeing justice there.
Hello and good morning, sir.
Good morning, thank you.
This is Patrick Vincent from Adamazi TV. Your name?
Okay, my name is Gambo Nelson.
Okay, sir. On Nigeria's presidential election, there are three major candidates that contested for the presidency of this country, which are Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and also the Atiku Abubakar, the candidate for the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Election has come and gone. INEC has made their declaration. So on Nigeria's general election, what do you have to say about Nigeria's general election?
Thank you very much, and it's a good question. In a nutshell, we have to say they've tried their best, but the best is not best and good enough for Nigeria, in the sense that with all the preparations, aspirations, plans, strategies, and policies they've made so far, they have some loopholes which, of course, they need to work on. The election came and gone, but there are so many grievances here and there, especially among the three contestants. The election is well contested. It's very nice at the same time, but some of the processes, some of the policies, and some of the action plans need to be revisited again, so as to get the democracy that we are in need and we are crying for in Nigeria to its fullest.
Okay, sir. And after election and electionary process, we have the judiciary, who is seen as the last hope of the masses. What do you have for the judicial and also the criminal justice system of Nigeria on administrating justice to all and sundry, and to also save the democracy of our dear beloved country, Nigeria?
Justice is the last hope of every man, especially the common man out there. In our own case in Nigeria, yes, again, they've tried, but to some extent, they have not. Because there are some administration of justice or justices in Nigeria that to a common and a layman understanding, those justices were not, to some extent, delivered and administered. For example, in the case of Nigeria, there are so many issues here and there, whereby you have some glaring issues that are supposed to be tackled even in the normal sense, but normally our justice system, they apply their technicalities and then take us over using those technicalities. Meanwhile, in a mere and a layman view and understanding, they are not justice in the sense.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
This is Patrick Vincent from Adamazi TV.
Okay, my name is Adaki, popularly known as Lotandi of Africa.
Yes, sir. Looking at the Nigerians general election, there are some issues which made major contenders of the election headed to the court in person of Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of the PDP. So we want to hear your view on the general election at large.
Well, I believe that, just like you've mentioned, I believe that the Nigerian general election, that is the last election, was not really perfect. And of course, as a developing country, I know that it's not easy to conduct a perfect election. So now that we have one or two persons that have headed to the court to go and challenge the result, I believe that the judiciary or the court will be able to do justice to ensure that these people get the justice they are demanding. But you know that when it comes to matters of the court, there are technicalities. So, and that is only the court that will be able to determine whether the winner was actually the winner or not. That is what I can say. But I believe that the court will do its best.
Okay, sir. Seeing judicial system and criminal justice system of Nigeria as the last hope of the common man, what recommendation do you have for the judicial system of Nigeria on administering justice to everybody when it comes to the announcement of results, and in case if it should favor another person, not Tinubu?
Well, just like you said, you know, we've always had this. They've always told us that the judiciary is the last hope for the masses, or the hope of the poor. You know, and we believe that the poor in this sense does not necessarily mean that you must be poor financially. It means that maybe the underdogs. So we believe that the judiciary will live up to its name, its responsibility in the society to make sure that justice is served, and that they do that without fear or favor. That if at the end of the day they are able to establish that the current president that has just been sworn in is not the duly elected person, then they should as well go ahead to declare the person that was duly elected. And that is what I'm urging the judiciary to do, if they are able to establish that the president that has just been sworn in is not the duly elected. But if they are able to establish that he is the duly elected, then of course that will have nothing to say than to believe what they say, because that, like you said, especially the Supreme Court is always the last place you can go to in demanding for justice in Nigeria. So that is what I will say for now.
Thank you, and thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
And what message do you have for Adamazi TV on her quest to make every citizen's voice heard nationally, internationally?
I can see that Adama TV is the voice of the voiceless. It's the voice of the voiceless, because I've been seeing them severally. There are so many things that they have been covering, and which I actually not aware of before. But because with the help of Adama TV, at the moment, I'm able to just get myself informed.
Adamazi TV, to say right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard and seen some of their programs on social medias, and actually they are doing well, very, very well. So especially there's one aspect that I'm interested in. This aspect of capturing the lost glories of the African societies. I'm a historian. Sorry to tell you, I'm a historian by profession, and so I have to speak from my own perspective. You know, you cannot be somewhere if you don't know where you're coming from. And so this is the effort I see Adamazi TV always trying to come up with: the lost glories, the lost cultures, those ones that are about to go to extinction, they try all they could to revitalize them and bring back to limelight again. So I think it's a good one. Keep it up. And to the audience like we that watching or accessing the Adamazi TV, I think we really need to watch. We really need to pay attention to them because it's a very good TV platform that takes and talk more of our cultures and our personalities. Thank you.
To be honest with you, press, media is one of the tools that has sustained democracy over the years. And the upsurge of private stations like this Adamazi TV you are talking about is very, very important, is very, very fundamental in upholding our democracy. Why? Because some of these elite stations or the government stations are not that accessible. Sometimes they are too monetized that as a common citizens you might not even have the avenue or platform to express your view. But you see, Adamazi TV, this is not the first time I'm seeing their program. I've seen they are doing very well in, getting to the grassroots and hearing directly from the masses. It's a very good thing. I give them kudos for that. Very, very good. And our own words of encouragement to them is that even though we thrive in an economy that things are becoming difficult day by day, we want to tell Adamazi TV that it is one of the stations that is rekindling the hope in an average citizens now that through them, their own voices can be heard. Through them, the world can know what is happening in our country. And through them, the government may also know what is happening here in the grassroots with the basic intervention and make it better. So kudos to the management of Adamazi TV and all their staff. They are really doing a very wonderful job in that regard.
Thank you, and thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. I'm very grateful.